is something that I'm very passionate. So I'm actually happy to have been invited. So thank you very much to be here today. I'm going to start by first talking about myself, talking about my background and my journey and how I got into the healthcare sector as an analyst. First of all, I started my career in accounting. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting. That's where I started from. And after my bachelor's degree, I started my career in banking. And throughout my career, I was a banker for maybe 13 or 14 years. I worked many years as a banker. And about 5 years ago, I started a transition to data analytics and I became a data analyst by I started doing training and I learned so much about data analytics pathways and everything. Now, when I became a data analyst, when I did training to become a data analyst, it was a totally different terrain for me. All I had known was banking and financial services and everything that I had done before then. So starting a career in data analytics was a totally new terrain for me. It was very different. I did not know where to start at the beginning. I did not even know how I was going to start or what I was going to do. But I just knew that I wanted a change at that point and I wanted to do something different. So I transitioned. Now, the reason why I'm so passionate about mentoring people now is because as at then, when I just started, I didn't really have a mentor when I started, and I didn't really know how important to be to have a mentor. But as I went into my data analytics career, I understood better that when you have a mentor, it gives you a kind of sense of direction. You know exactly what you want to do, or it's easier for you to navigate, especially when you're in a new space. So that's what I learned during the time that I started my career as a data analyst, because there's some mistakes that I feel like I could have avoided if I had a mentor, if I had somebody at the initial stage in my data analyst career. Now, becoming a data analyst, I currently work for the NHS in England. And before then, I was working in different Nigerian banks before I went on to have my master's in data analytics. And then while I was doing my master's, I got a job in healthcare sector, and it was my first time ever working in healthcare. Now, for someone who had worked so many years as a banker, and the only thing that I knew was financial services, working in healthcare was a totally different ballgame in the sense that it was one thing to transition from being a someone as a banker going into analysis and then going from that to now becoming a healthcare analyst. It was just very different. And there were lots of times where I would doubt myself and I would say, am I sure I know I'm doing the right thing? Or am I sure that I'm in the right career? I had those moments. I dealt with times where I would feel like, oh no, this is not for me. But having mentors and networking is something that really, really boosted my confidence. And that is why I'm always very happy to speak to people, to mentor people, because I have been there and I know what it feels like to just be struggling with your career. You don't know what direction you're going and all of that. So, first of all, when I started my career as a data analyst, one thing that helped me a lot was being active on LinkedIn, because most of the mentors that I had, it was through LinkedIn and through attending conferences and all of that. So LinkedIn was a very important tool in my career, because there I met people who had much experience, people who knew much about healthcare, people who knew much about data analytics and everything. So it was from LinkedIn. I would get information. That's where I would get information about conferences. I would see, I would want to keep up with trends. I would want to know what's happening out there. And I was very determined about doing well in my career as a healthcare analyst. So because of that passion, I was always out there wanting to know more, finding out, oh, what's happening there. And then I would see invites for conferences and things like that. And then I would meet people. I would meet some people that are working in healthcare. I would go to their DMs, ask them, oh, can you be my mentor? I need this guidance. And people are always very happy to help, especially um, when you approach them in a very, very professional way. So it's very important also when you're reaching out to people or you're trying to network or you're trying to get mentors, you should know the way you approach them. Now, I'll talk about that's just a bit about myself, and I would highlight some importance about having mentors or networking. Like I mentioned before, having a mentor or having or networking would help you have some sense of direction because networking and mentorship they go together because when you're networking you're meeting people who would become your mentors, so they go together. But why is mentorship so important? Why do we need to talk so much about having mentors, especially when you're starting your career newly in healthcare or a new pathway? Why is it so important having mentors? First of all, you get guidance in navigating in your career. You don't know where to start. Oh, what do I do next? Am I supposed to do a training? Do I need to get a master's? Do I need to get a degree? You don't even know all of that. But having people who have been there, who have so much experience in that area would help you. And also, sometimes you might have certain skills that you don't even know. You might be coming from a totally unrelated career, just like I did. Sometimes some people feel like if you're coming from a totally different background and you're new to healthcare, it means that your other work experience doesn't matter. If you don't have somebody that tells you no, it actually matters. Even if you're coming, like I came from financial services, I had worked in different roles as customer service officer, head customer service. I had worked in different roles, and if I didn't know better, if I didn't know that, oh, my soft skills or some skills that I had transferable skills from my career as a banker. If I didn't know that, I would just assume, oh, my experience as a banker doesn't matter. Now I'm working in healthcare. But no, it matters. And the reason why I know it matters is because I've seen people who are my mentors, how they have used their previous work experience in their current job roles. So having mentors, that's what it does for you. It makes you know exactly what you're doing. How can you get your skill? Oh, you were a doctor before. Now you want to become a healthcare analyst. How do I go about that? Is it even possible? Some people will say, it's not even possible. Like when I talk to people about starting careers in data analytics and everything, when they are coming from totally unrelated backgrounds, maybe they are nurses or they are doctors, they always go like, ah, but that's not for me. You don't know that because you've not met people that will tell you that. That's why you need mentors that would guide you. You need people that will tell you, oh, you can actually, the fact that I work in healthcare and I have colleagues who also work as healthcare analysts. Some of them are medical doctors, some of them are nurses. They've come from different backgrounds, right? And it's easy for them. You just need to know when to use your skills from your previous job to your current job. Now, another thing that having mentors can do for you would to develop your skills. Like I mentioned before, boosting your confidence. This one is very important because when you're new in healthcare, you will deal with imposter syndrome, basically second guessing yourself, asking yourself, oh, am I enough? Is this the right pathway for me? Am I in the right career? But when you have mentors, they would give you some kind of reassurance. They would reassure you when you're having self-doubt. They will tell you, oh, no, you can do this. They will give you that confidence. And then your mentors can also help you with networking opportunities. They can introduce you to their circle. When you have your mentors, they can tell you, okay, let me introduce you to this person. There are other opportunities. There are so many other opportunities that will come from you having mentors. Having mentors would also help you, have information. They will give you information when something is happening because information is very key in your career as a healthcare analyst or in digital health. Having information is very important. You need to know, you have to keep up with trends. You have to know what's happening out there. You can't just be there and not know what's happening. So when you have mentors, you're building your network, you're out there, you're just there, letting people know this is what I do. It would help you. And then sometimes too, when you want to start your career, as a data analyst, for example, when I started my career as a data analyst, there are different pathways I could have easily followed. I could have gone to become a financial data analyst or a customer service analyst. but I wanted to be a healthcare analyst. So knowing what my goals are and speaking to my mentors about my goals helped me know exactly where I was going. And it was easy for me to just focus on healthcare. I knew that, oh, this is what I want to do based on information I've gotten from other people, based on people's experiences, based on what I've gathered. I want to become a healthcare analyst. So it's easy for you to get clarity when you're trying to define your goals in your career. I've talked about imposter syndrome, and or I don't know how long I'm supposed to be speaking. I'm not so sure how long I'm supposed to be speaking for, or if somebody else is supposed to also say something. Sorry, can you just tell me so I just don't keep
Can you hear
talking?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Anne, for sharing those key points around the importance of mentorship and how it is um, the right approach for us to have when it comes to seeking mentorship around our career growth in digital health. And I think it's quite impressive, your story, having a banking and financial background and now transitioning to become a clinical informatist or clinical, what do you call, I think
I'm a,
clinical analyst.
I'm a senior
Clinical
information analyst,
analyst,
basically. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's really, for me, that's really impressive. That's something you rarely see. I think it's rare to see those kind of transitions because you're actually coming from a high professional background to another, professional area. So that's really impressive for me, and I believe the tips you've shared are quite useful for our audience who have maybe similar experiences or similar background. So just to further ask you questions around this mentorship thing we've been talking about. So what's the right approach when it comes to seeking mentorship? At what point do you think early stage career professionals, students, or people who are transitioning between careers, at what point do you think they should actually seek for mentorship? Because as you've said clearly on the call today, it's a powerful tool, right? For us to develop in our career. But at what point do we start seeking for mentorship?
Okay. So let me just first of all say something because sometimes we often get it wrong when we say mentor. Some people assume that a mentor is somebody that is high up there, or a mentor is somebody that has to be older than you. Some people have different ideas of who a mentor should be. But contrary to what some people think, I would say you can find mentors even amongst your friends. You can find mentorship anywhere. So, and there's not really a time where I would say you need mentor from the beginning of when you start your career, it's good to have mentors, right? When you're transitioning to a new career, you should have mentors. Even when even now in my career, I have grown from where I was before. I have mentors on a daily basis. I'm meeting new mentors that will guide me how to move forward. So I would not say that there's any particular time that is best for you to have a mentor. You should have mentors at every point in time. And mentors can be anybody. I have some people that I call my data friends. These are people that are my friends, but because they probably started their career in data analytics longer than I did, I go to them when I'm stuck with certain projects or I'm not sure how to do something. Maybe, for example, I'm running codes on Python or I'm doing SQL and maybe I've been trying to figure out something for a while. I have people that I call my data friends. I would call them my mentors, even though we are like peers. So a mentor can be anybody. It can be your peers. It can be your bosses. It can be anybody. So I wouldn't say there's any time for you, special time for you to have a mentor because a mentor can be anybody. It's just for you to have. I speak to people a lot, and that's where I learn. I speak to people a lot. I go to people to seek for advice. Once I see that you are very good in a particular area of interest, that is of interest to me, I would come to you and ask you about it. So you can always seek for um for help when you need to, and have mentors, have people that you go to when you're having challenges with your career or your profession, or it could be in your technical skills. For example, you might be struggling with some things, because I mean, it's not very easy for me as a data analyst. It's not very easy. You might have some technical skills and you're having some challenges with some things. Oh, your SQL code, you don't know what's happening with it. You want to do something and the query is looking complicated. It is your mentors that will help you to solve those kind of problems. So mentors don't not only also help you with like career transitioning or provide you with advice, they can also help you with your technical skill. They can recommend training for you. Oh, you feel like you're having challenges with this problem. Okay, maybe you should do like a training in Excel or have a training in SQL or something like that. So having mentors, whether your peers or your friends or your bosses or anywhere, is very important to have at every stage in your career. So I wouldn't say there's a particular time that you should have mentors or not.
All right, awesome. I think that really resonates with me because more often than not, we try to, when we talk about mentors, we have this view that the person has to be 30 years, the person has to have 30 years experience, the person has to have social net worth, the person has to belong to one United Nation organization, the person has to be in WHO. I think we sort of somehow have this stereotypic view about mentors. We kind of have some how will I call it, an idea of who a mentor should be, and we forget most times that even peer-to-peer learning is also a form of mentorship, as you've rightly mentioned on the call just now. So thank you so much for really highlighting that, and that there is no particular stage in your career that you would not need mentors, right? We always need somebody who has more experience. There will always be a point where somebody knows better than you, right? And it's always right to always seek for mentorship at every of our career stages. So I think my next question around mentorship before we move now to networking would be that what kind of criteria should young people look out for in identifying the right mentors, and what should be their right approach? Because many people have reached out to say, oh, I'm trying to reach out to this person, but the person is not responding to me. I've sent countless LinkedIn connection, I've sent countless emails, code emails, and whatnot. So what do you think is the right approach to, maybe you've identified somebody who you believe should be your mentor, would actually be good enough to be your mentor? What should be the right approach, and how do we identify the right mentors? Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, I would say before you approach any mentor, you have to be specific about what you want. Identify exactly why are you looking for? Why do you need a mentor? Is it for your career, or do you want to transition? Why exactly are you looking for a mentor? You have to first be clear about what you want. Then, when you now know exactly what you're looking for, so you want to start your career in digital health, for example, you need advice on breaking into the industry. You want to know, oh, do I need to learn specific tools? Do I need to learn what technical skills do I need, and things like that. When you are now identify exactly what you want, then you go ahead and find out. For me, when I started my career in data analytics, what I did was to first of all join groups. I was very active on LinkedIn and I started joining groups where they talked about my area of specialization, right? And then from there, I would see people who speak regularly or who sound like they have some kind of authority in that field. And then I will research about them. I'll learn about their background, look at their achievements and their expertise, and then I would maybe if they have articles that they've written before, I would read things like that and all that. And then sometimes I would now go, I'll connect with them, maybe send connection requests. And then if I'm able to message them, I can message them just to let them know, oh, I admire your work. And it's very important to stay very professional when you're reaching out to mentors, because your approach to reaching out to people matters a lot. So I reach out to them and I say, oh, I have been following you for a while. I've seen your work and it's very, I don't know, I can learn from you and everything. And most times I get very good responses. I introduce myself. I I talk about a bit about myself. I talk about my background. I introduce myself. I tell them what I do and what I want to do, and then tell them exactly what I need from them. Like, oh, I need you. I need some support with knowing how to start a career in healthcare. I would want to know more about Power BI. I would want. I'm always specific about what I want to do, and then when I start with those kind of messages, depending on how the person responds, I would then ask for maybe a meeting or a Zoom call or just get on a quick call. And I prepare myself when I'm getting on a call with anybody. I prepare myself to know exactly what am I going to ask this person. Um, do I want to ask them about the skills, the most valuable skill they've learned in their career, or how do I stay updated in industry trends? I ask those kind of questions, and then I make sure that I appreciate them for what they've done, and then follow up also every now and then, message them just to see, give them an update on how I'm doing. And then the most important thing is showing your commitment and how interested you are, because sometimes I have some people that reach out to me to mentor them. And when I'm all excited, okay, let me mentor this person, and they just have this lackadaisical attitude. They're not very. I like people that come with the fire. If you say you have a passion for something, I want to see that passion. I want to see. I can't be telling you, okay, let's have a meeting, and then you're not interested or you're not showing interest at the end of the day. So you have to be committed. You have to show that commitment, show that, oh, even if I tell you the steps to follow, if say you want to start a career and I give you the steps and I've given you advice, what next? And then sometimes I follow up. There are some people that would not even follow up. I will be the one following up on them. And then when I follow up on them, they will tell me, I've not even had time to look at anything or have not. And I'll just be like, well, you came to me and said you needed help, and now I'm trying to help you. So just having that commitment is very important because it's not just asking for mentorship or asking for advice. So showing commitment, being dedicated and willing to learn, so very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And I think even from your last comment, showing commitment and dedication is really, really important because it's a way to actually keep that relationship going. Sometimes a lot of us go in without fire. You want the person's time. By the time the person starts giving you the time and starts asking you to do some certain task or do some certain things, we tend to, ghost, right? And later on, you come out to say, oh, this person was not responding to my DM, or this person was not responding to my. I think it all matters. The right approach really matters, right? And I think first impression really lasts long. The fire you came in with, try to maintain that fire, throughout the course of the relationship, and that will really tell the mentor that you are really serious about this thing. I think it's also from my experience as well. I will also share that it's important we are clear on the specific area you need mentorship on. Go with a clear go with clarity. You don't need to have everything figured out. Let me put it that way. But at least to some extent, understand what you believe this person could do for you. I think while I was starting out and I wanted to become better in public speaking, I figured out some few people I could reach out to mentor me around public. So I was specific that it was public speaking I wanted mentorship on, even though I was a medical student, I was interested in digital health, but I also needed that soft skill, that public speaking soft skill. So I reached out to a particular person within my circle then who I knew was very good with public speaking. And I was specific and I want you to mentor me around public speaking. I want to shadow you. I want to see how you speak, how do you do it and all of those things. And I was able to do that for like 6 months thereabout, and that was it. After 6 months, I told him, well, thank you so much. I've really learned a lot, and I've been able to use what I've learned even in my own space. And that was the end of the mentorship. So sometimes some mentorship doesn't have to last like all that long. You can keep the relationship, but maybe the intensity would reduce as much as you get value from it. And you have to be specific as you share, and you have to be clear as you have shared. So research about them. She also mentioned ensure you do your due diligence. You can't come to me and say you want to learn about cryptocurrency. I should mentor you. I'm like, I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. Where did you see that I know anything about cryptocurrency? That's a that's a total flow. I'll never take you serious from that from that time because you definitely did not do any research about my background. So you can't go to Anne and ask her for mentorship on maybe oil and gas. I don't know if she know anything around oil and gas anyway, but I'm just saying. So there have to be a match between what you want and what the person already does. So that means the person has probably passed the stage that you're aspiring to. That's why you're reaching out to the person. Check out their work so that you can also see how you can add value to them. Because a lot of time we come in to take out of mentorship. We don't come in to even give. So I think we should come with that apprentice mindset that I'm coming to also support this person. And I think when I started my mentorship journey with my mentor, who really built me up in digital health, even up to now, what I did was I worked with a startup. So I gave back. So as I was working with the startup, I was learning to from him. So it was a win-win situation. So I didn't go in to just, gather everything and run out. I was also there. I was serving. I was supporting his work, and I was also getting value in return. A lot of things I know now, I learned them hands on while working with him. So it didn't. There was sometimes we think mentorship is you have to sit down with you and bring out pen and bring out a jotter and a pen and start writing. Okay, do step one, then do step. Sometimes it's just even watching how the person does things and observing, right, or
Exactly.
listening.
I was going to,
Yeah, or even listening to them speak. That was the mentorship I got from my mentor currently. He has never had a meeting with me to tell me, oh, Vivian, from one to zero, this is how you do it. He will just give me assignments, go and figure it out. And I'll be there online figuring things out. Then I'll come back, he will review and give me feedback. Then I'll go
okay.
again. So yeah, so that was it. So sometimes mentorship can be that way. And so thank you so much. I have to be committed, have a call to action. Don't just send
I
me a
just,
mail or
okay.
don't just send me something on LinkedIn and say, hello Anne, come and be my mentor. And that's the end. She will not respond to you because there is no substance to that request you have made. Have a call to action, introduce yourself,
I,
tell them what you want to learn and tell them specifically what you
can
want.
I
Okay,
just add something?
yeah, go ahead, please.
Can I just add something to what you said? I just wanted to say,
Yes, go ahead.
I picked something from what you said, and I just wanted to add, it's not every mentor that you have to reach out to mentor you.
Yes,
Now, I have
exactly.
some people on LinkedIn that I follow. They are my mentors, but some of them don't even know that they are my mentors. In terms of just follow them, watch what they are posting. I read some of them share articles. I read their articles. I see their posts. Some of them share their experiences, and I'm just there watching and getting tips from what I see them doing. So mentorship doesn't mean that you have to, everybody has to come and be telling you, like you said, oh, this is what you need to do, this one. You can just be watching. If you know the right people that you are following on LinkedIn or you're connecting with on LinkedIn, you can be following them and just learning from them. That's another form of mentorship. It's not everybody that has to just be officially your mentor, like say, okay, this person is my mentor. No, it doesn't work that way at all.
Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes
Thank you.
those kind of people don't even have time to actually mentor people. So that's why they do a lot of online. They give out a lot of online resources. For example, I would say Dr. Ola Brown. She's my mentor, but she doesn't know me, right? So I take in a lot of her content. I go on YouTube. I watch all her content around healthcare financing and economics, right? Once she puts out anything on LinkedIn, on Twitter, I am there learning, and I have my jotter for Ola Brown. Most of our content, I have them. I keep jotting them down and I keep learning from her, and she doesn't even know me, right? So that can be a sort of mentorship pathway as well. So they don't really need to sit down with you and spoon feed you and all of it. Sometimes you have to go out there and grab what you want, regardless, either directly or indirectly. So let's quickly run now and let's move to. So I'm not sure Nelly is joining us on the call. I've tried to we've reached out to her a couple of times, but I'm not sure if she's on the call. But hopefully she joins before we wrap up. So let's go to networking. I know we've talked a lot about mentorships. I want us to also have time to take questions because this is an interactive session. It's supposed to be a fireside chat. So let's just touch briefly on networking. Then we'll take questions from our audience as well. So let's talk about networking now. So networking is you have to put yourself out there and all, but what's the right way to network for someone who is an introvert, who doesn't know how to speak up or put themselves out there? someone who is really shy and all of those things, how do you think they can really navigate? Because now the world is tilting to whoever can shout the most get the most opportunities. You have to be very loud and noisy out there, with the way things are changing and the way we are all online trying to grab different opportunities. So how can someone who is a bit, introverted, reserved, can really navigate this networking thing? Thank you.
Okay, so this networking, whether you're an introvert or you're not an introvert, you're an extrovert or you're an ambivert, whatever it is that you are, you can actually network. And I'll talk about how you can do that. For example, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is such an important networking tool that sometimes some people don't take it that serious because LinkedIn is something that has helped me a lot in my career. And sometimes you don't even need to do anything. Like you don't need to just go out there and say, okay, I want to network today. You don't need to do anything that's serious. Sometimes just being on LinkedIn, sharing posts, being active, putting yourself out there, include making sure that your profile is in good condition. You have your professional photo, you have a very good headline, you have your summary and everything. And then you're following people, different people, leaders and companies in the digital health space. You're following, you're commenting on some posts, you're engaging on LinkedIn. Just people post something, you engage. There are some people that don't really like to post, they don't really like to comment. I would say those things don't really hurt. You can just comment. Somebody post something, you're sharing your ideas. Now, when you're doing all of this on LinkedIn, sometimes it might just look like nobody's seeing what I'm doing. I'm just doing this. But people are actually watching you. And I can talk about my experience because there's sometimes that I'm just there going out there, I'll post, make a post, comment here, like this. And people will come to my DM and say, oh, I've been following you for a while. I've been seeing what you're doing. So you would think that people are not seeing, but they actually are watching. And even if you're not like directly just going there and say, oh, I want to network, people might be the one coming to you. So there are different approaches. You can be there going out there meeting people, but you can just be doing your thing in terms of building your profile, um, making posts, talking, picking a particular area where you want to speak about, writing articles or things like that. And then you're building your network by doing that. That's something that has helped me a lot. Visibility on LinkedIn has really helped me because that's how did I know about Digital Health Africa? It is from LinkedIn, from following the page and seeing what they do. So that's how you grow in your network by being active on LinkedIn, following people who know a lot about what you're interested in, um, sharing articles, commenting on articles, and then there's something else that I do that has also helped me network a lot. I attend events, whether conferences, webinars, and things like that. I am constantly going for conferences. This year now, I have marked out some days of some months where I would have to take time off work to attend corporate events. It's something that I do because it helps me. I meet people there. Um, I share ideas. I meet people that want to share their experience. And then from meeting those people, I will meet some other people like that. They will tell me about the next event. And it just goes on and on and on like that. So I attend events. Because sometimes when I go for events, some people tell me, you're always attending this conference. Are they dashing you money or are they giving you money or what's it's not about whether they are giving the things that I get from there. It's more to me, it's more valuable than money because you don't know the opportunities that would come from meeting people in those events. So I attend events, I join communities, groups on LinkedIn. I request to speak at events. I'm just out there doing different things, and that's the way I network. And I can tell you for sure that networking has helped me in my career because I'm always there seeing different opportunities that I can leverage on. So it's something that I do. And then, like I said before, following up also. Um, Once in a while, send the DM here and there, check on people, not not only when you need something that you go to them. Sometimes it's just about just keeping in touch, keeping in contact with people,
Mm-hmm.
checking on them, not just say, oh, when you need something, you go to them. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to just once in a while see how they are doing and all of that. So that's my own
Yeah.
approach. That's what I would advise
Yeah.
anybody else.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anne, for sharing. And just to add to that, I think the current world we are now, everything is online. So a closed mouth, as you usually say, is a closed destiny. You need to be able to blow your own trumpet online, even if it's just Python. You're just starting today, let the whole world know that you're starting to write Python, right? You need to blow your own trumpet, to be honest, because nobody's going to blow that for you. And sometimes we think that job opportunities, you have to sit down and you will see job adverts online, and that's where you get some opportunities are shared on WhatsApp. Mm? Some opportunities you will not see online. They are from conferences when you meet somebody and you talk to them that, oh, I'm doing this, my name is this and this and this, and I'm doing this, I'm interested in this, and I see that your company is also doing this and this. I believe my skills can be these are the ways you pitch yourself and you network and you're able to land some roles that were not even published, right? I can categorically tell you that two roles I've landed in the past 1 year, just last year, were never published online. It was from WhatsApp chat, right? Just WhatsApp chats. You won't believe it because um, I've been able to build my network in such a way that I don't just go to you when I need things. As Anne said, the last thing she said, you have to keep checking in on, these people, these industry experts you've networked with previously. Check on them, ask them how their company is doing, if there's anything you can support with, if there's anything you can, support them with and all and all. Try to keep in touch. And when you're preparing for conferences, Anne mentioned she attends conferences and events. I think we need to also be strategic about our networking because conferences are very large. You can't meet everybody at the same time. So you have to be strategic about who you spend your time with. I think when you see some conferences online, identify some key speakers that you believe you need to talk to, maybe about your project, or you want to pitch your startup, or you want to even get into their company to work with them. Identify them. Once you see that they're attending the event, connect with them on LinkedIn, chat them up. Hi, Anne, I see you're coming to so conferences. Oh, I'll also be there. It'd be nice to have a 10-minute chat with you, this and this and this. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Try to find me. Okay, that's fine. So you know that this person is on your list of people you are tracking during the conference. So during the conference, you have to get to Anne. You have to find her wherever she is, attend the session she's going to speak so that you can walk up to her to say, oh, hi, Anne. I hope you remember me. My name is Joy. We chatted yesterday. And I was just like, oh, Joy. And, you've already built a sort of informal rapport online. So you can now continue that kind of rapport, physically. And she's able to relate with you because she has chatted with you a day before or a week before. So it's easier that way to break that initial shyness or, you don't know how to talk to this person. Talk to them online first before you meet them physically. And this is for conferences and events. And these are things that have actually worked for me a lot of time, right? So, and also when you see your favorite mentors, people you really like to talk to, if they're attending some certain events, try to also be there and listen to what they say, and from there you can even send them a message. Oh, Anne, you spoke on so a webinar. I really loved this points you shared, and I hope we can even catch up so that I can even ask maybe a further question or something. This is how you enter people. Let me say it in a Nigeria way. So this is how you enter people. We need to learn to play the industry game, to be honest. That job you want to land or that role you are looking for sometimes might not be advertised, right? It's from relationship, right? People recommend people they like. People recommend people they can vouch for. So you have to build yourself. You have to build some certain relationship that can also vouch for you, recommend you for some roles, right? So thank you so much. And let's take questions now. I don't know if Nelly was able to join us eventually, but maybe unfortunately not. Would have loved to have her on the call today, but I'm not sure she's here. So let's take questions. If you have questions around mentorship, networking, you can please raise your hand or mute and would call you up. Thank you, Anne, for your time today. It's been such a wonderful time. So while we are trying to take question, I want to ask you the last question. So what advice would you have for maintaining long-term relationship with mentors and connections, after we've had that initial introduction with them, after we've connected with them, and all of those things, what are some, tips you can share to maintain a lasting relationship?
Well, like I mentioned before, I said having keeping in touch with mentors, for example, like checking in on them once in a while. It's not just you just come one day and just pop up and say, "Oh, I did this thing." Regularly checking on them, talking about things that you know that they will be interested in, sharing ideas. You can share your progress with your mentors. Let them know, oh, remember you told me to do this. I have done so and so within the period that's within this last 1 year, for example. I have done that. Mentors are usually very happy to see that they have made a positive impact in your career. So being able to share your progress, for example, to show that, oh, I have done this, I've taken this step since the last time we spoke. I've taken this step, and then continue showing appreciation. Let them know that, oh, do you know that this thing you told me about, it was actually very useful for me, and I went back and I did it, and it has really helped me. Now I'm now a full healthcare analyst. I'm now I got this job, or I got like giving them updates on your progress is something that can help because it means that they would see that you actually value the mentorship experience you had from them. So I think that's something that you can do. Like I said, show gratitude, show your progress, show your growth. Say, oh, and then you too, as a mentee, I learn from my mentors a lot, my mentees as well. We as mentors, we also learn from people that we are mentoring, and that's the truth. So you too, as a mentee, you can actually be sharing your own ideas. You can actually share opinions, talk about. Don't be scared to share your opinion. If you say, "Oh, I think it's actually this way," mentors can learn from you too. So, and that's one way to keep a relationship because sometimes when I speak to some people that I'm supposed to be mentoring and I hear them say some very intelligent or some very ideas that I find interesting, I would be very interested in keeping in touch with that kind of person because I mean, this person has shown that they know this, they know about
Yeah.
this. So it's like a two-way relationship. So you
Mm.
also need to also show your own ideas so that mentors can see that, yes, and then communicate openly, respect your mentors, respect their time, just stay in touch consistently, and then basically I think that should be it. And be patient with them. Sometimes they might be busy. They
Yeah.
might be busy. Yeah, sometimes they might be busy with other things, having meetings. You also have to be patient when you're trying to catch them, or you may want to get them on a call, or you want to have meetings with them and they are not available. You need to also understand that sometimes some people are busy. So respecting their time, also things like that would make you have a long-lasting relationship with your mentors.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'll just add around, sharing your ideas with them. You can also share opportunities with them. I think that's one thing I do a lot. So when I know that Anne is my mentor and she's into health analytics, if I see any opportunity around healthcare analytics, maybe a senior role or a funding program or a fellowship or a grant, I will share with Anne. That's another way you can make yourself valuable to your mentors too. As they pour into you, you also pour into them in your own little capacity, right? So thank you so much, Anne. I can see a question in the chat session asking that what kind of data set should I share as a data analyst, as someone who's just starting out with healthcare data analytics career, what kind of content do I post? Data sets that I've worked on or what? This is where I have issues with engagement on LinkedIn.
Okay, well, let me just read. Thank you. Okay, so healthcare data analysis is a very interesting area, and there's so much that you can post. You can do some analysis for for example, they are open source, they have open source data that you can work with that are not breaching any confidentiality issues and all that. So you can work on them, you can post those kind of data contents. Um, as long as the data you're sharing doesn't compromise, because with healthcare data, of course, we know that there's issues with data privacy protection and all of that. So as long as the data that you have, for example, I use Kaggle a lot, and sometimes when I want to get data sets, I go to Kaggle. I download data sets from there. I can use them to do like analysis and then post my work. Sometimes I post on. I have a GitHub account, so I post my stuff there. So you can share your contents as long as you're not breaching any confidentiality issue. You can talk about innovation. There's so much to talk about. You can talk about innovation in healthcare. You can talk about how you can use data to solve real world problems. You can talk about data science in healthcare and how things like statistical analysis can be used to help resolve issues in healthcare. There's so much that you can talk about in healthcare. And then when you say data, you said data sets I have worked on what. So yes, you can share data sets you've worked on. If you analyze your data and you share insights on the data that you worked on, you can share it on LinkedIn or anywhere. You can post about it just as long as the data you're posting about doesn't have any sensitive content, then you should be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. And just to add to that, you can also maybe create dashboards and also write article on any data set you've worked on. So maybe you analyzed a data around, maybe you did predictive analytics on maybe have more questions. So as we wrap up, I would say one advice you would give to um, professionals who are either just starting out in their career or transit or they're trying to transition into digital health. What's one thing you will share with them that you wish you had known earlier about networking or mentorship that could really make a difference in their journey?
Okay, one thing that I wish I knew earlier is the benefits or the high impact of being out there. And that's what I'll tell anybody that wants to start a career. You have to be out there. Me, before now, I used to be shy. I would say, "Ah, I don't want to post, I don't want to be out there. I don't want people to see me." But the more I was out there, the more I was progressing. And I couldn't shy away from it at some point. I just had to say, you know what? You're just going to leave this your shyness and do what you have to do to achieve what you want. So I would say be out there, um, share your just like you said, nobody blows your trumpet as much as you. Be out there, let people know what you're doing. Talk about yourself because if people don't know you or they don't know what you're doing, they would not even get in touch with you or want to send you opportunities. You have to be out there. You have to show people, display your skills, let people know that you know about this. Let people know that, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I just got this. I just got this job. Oh, I just got this opportunity. Oh, share ideas. Talk about stuff. Let people see you. Be in people's faces. Somebody told me something one day. One of my mentors told me something, and it's the same thing I would say to you. She said, if you don't get in their skin or you don't get to the point where people you get in their skin, then you're not doing a good job yet. So you need to get to that point where they will be like, who is this? Who is this person self? You get so you have to be out there and show yourself and let people just know who you are. And I would say that's the advice I would give anybody starting a career for you to be out there, for you to show your skills and just um, show that you have what it takes for any opportunity. So that's what I'll have to say.
All right, thank you so much. What I'm getting from that is how bad do you want it? How bad do you want that job? How bad do you want that career growth? Right? So you have to do whatever it takes. I'm also an introvert and I'm very shy, but because I know what I want and I know where I'm going, I have to put that aside and fight for what I want, right? So fight for what you want, fight for the kind of mentorship you need, fight for the right networking opportunities you need, for your career growth and for your professional development. All right. Thank you so much, Anne. This has been such a wonderful time chatting with you. I hope our listeners have been able to pick one or two things from today's conversation, and we've been able to answer a few questions. Thank you so much. So, right about now, I'm going to introduce us to carbon carriers. So really, Carbon Carriers is a platform that is connecting highly skilled digital health professionals, students, with organizations who are in need of their expertise. So let's say we are matching, Carbon Career is matching you who you're a talented person, you're a skilled person, but you are looking for an entry opportunity into the industry. Maybe you're looking for an health data analyst intern role or a product development intern role or something like that. So what Carbon Career does is to connect you with an organization who also requires your skill, right? So they're really helping to bridge that gap of I can't find anywhere to intern or I can't find anywhere to even maybe volunteer or something like that. So they are connecting talented and future health leaders to industry opportunities. And we've mentioned on the call several times that there is a free CV review for 5 people. So this is the point where we're going to select those 5 people. So Carbon Careers have said that they will give us free CV review for the first 5 people who join this waiting list, who join their waiting list. So use the link on the screen, or you can just scan the QR code, and that will take you to a form that you can fill to join the waiting list for Carbon Careers. And the top five, the first five would be selected for your CV to be reviewed. So you have a personalized session where they will look at your CV and tell you you should remove this, you should add this, you should do this and do that. So you can go right now to that page, to that screen, and put in your details, right? And they will be in touch with you. So I think while we're doing that, we can take. I saw
Um,
a question on the chat session. Let me see. And if you are still able to take this last question,
yeah, okay. I just posted my LinkedIn for anybody that wants to connect.
mentors. I think
Hello,
that's the
can you hear
question.
me?
If you get that,
I couldn't hear you for a while.
can you still hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, so the person is asking that mentorship is not common in a setting. How can he approach it for somebody who is doing this for the first time?
Okay, so like I said, it doesn't have to, this whole mentorship thing, it doesn't have to be, because when you say how do you approach it, it sounds too formal, like maybe you have
Formal,
to
yeah,
apply for it or you have to,
exactly.
it doesn't have to be, it's not that serious. Let me just put it that way. It's not that serious. Like it can just be a situation where you're just asking somebody a question about something. Oh, I want to, do you know where to start? You're just asking somebody. It doesn't even you don't even act, it doesn't have to be like written in black and white and say, oh, I want you to be my mentor. Oh, it doesn't have to be that official or that formal. You can just start by asking, oh, please, I want to start a career in digital health. I'm not really sure where to start. I see that you have experience in this area, and I see that what you do, I've been following you for a while. Do you think you can share some tips on how I can start, or things I can do to achieve what I want? When you start like that, someone who has experience or who sees anybody that has been through your situation would understand, and they would want to share ideas with you. So it doesn't have to be like a formal, something very formal, something very official. So that's why I
Yeah,
think it's not, you just have to just find these people that know much about your area and then reach out to them. It can just be an informal, it can be just a regular conversation, asking them to
yeah,
share their ideas, not like you have to specify that they're your mentors. It doesn't have to be that way at all.
yeah, exactly. So don't let us paint it like you have to apply, you have to send your you have to fill an though some mentorship program will probably require you to apply to those kind of programs, right? So that's for programs. But when you are seeking one-on-one mentorship with people, um try to put your best foot forward, but then don't be too rigid about it, right? Try to be flexible even with it. Your approach shouldn't be like you're trying to reach out to a president and you have to be all you have to be all, or like call it formal about it. Though you have to put your best foot forward still because you're trying to create a good impression for the first time. So number one, you can kick off a conversation as Anne has mentioned. Two, you can send a LinkedIn connection, and when the person connects, introduce yourself and specify exactly what you want in terms of mentorship. Or you can ask for a 30-minute coffee time or a 15 minutes, coffee time or coffee chat. You can just chat and ask. Sometimes you might not even need a longer mentorship period. Even from one session, you can already have answers to the numerous questions you have. Then you go back and work on them. Then you can come back and give the person a feedback and follow up, that way. So let's look at mentorship as a relationship, like you're trying to build a relationship with somebody. So that should inform the way we approach such person. So please let's click the link in the chat section to join the waiting list for Carbon Car if you are interested, and the first 5 people would be reached out to from next week to get a personalized CV review. You can also follow Carbon Careers on LinkedIn. They just newly launched, so they will be serving as a gap between entry level professionals and host organizations and startups who need such skill. So, like a talent pipeline, let me put it that way. So, I'd like to thank you, everyone who have been with us from the very first day that we started this webinar series. Thank you so much. I believe we had valuable insights, and from the personal stories shared already. I hope it has been an enlightening session for you. As we wrap up, I'd like to share that networking, mentorship, all of these things is not just about asking for help. As I've said, is about creating meaningful relationship, right? That is going to improve your growth and improve your learning in the long term. And to everyone who has joined our session, I hope today I've really inspired you to take action, right? To reach out to potential mentors that you've identified or that you've seen online or that are even within your own support system, your friends, your colleagues, they can be your mentors, right? So please invest in building a solid relationship, invest in building your network, and you can also support others in their career journey. And if you've missed any of the discussion so far from this webinar series, you can go to Digital Africa YouTube. You find the first opening session there. You can also join the WhatsApp platform. We'll be sharing a compilation of all the session recordings, slides, and everything we've used, all the resources used, even from yesterday's career fair. We'll share everything with you on that WhatsApp page. And on the WhatsApp page, we'll keep in touch. We'll be sharing your opportunities, fellowship opportunities, job opportunities, to aid your personal development and to, you know, make you progress in your career. So thank you so much once again to Anne, to all our participants, to the entire team of Digital Africa, Innovated Africa, to our partners, the Pan African Health Informatics Association, also known as ELINA, to Medics in Tech for their support throughout this webinar series. Once again, we look forward to your success. You can reach out to us for any other, insight that you need or for any other support you need for your career. We are very much available to help and to support and to connect you with anyone who we believe could be of good use. So let's continue to connect, let's continue to learn and grow together. Thank you so much. We've come to the end of the Launch Your Digital Health Career webinar series. See you on the other side and also see you at the top. Thank you so much. Let's enjoy the rest of our day. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.